W-A-N-A-S-T-A. Terrence Pascal, father of the children. Good.
Okay. Apparently mother's not here. You have service on her?
We do, Your Honor. I have the card here.
Okay. I'll take your report.
Well, what happened is, Your Honor, that she was attempted service via certified mail. She didn't come pick it up, so they resent it with the regular mail, and I brought the card so it came.
Okay. Well, let me just take a look at the docket here and see what. While I'm doing that, I note that this case was just litigated less than a year ago. Have all of these things arisen in the past 11 months?
They have, Your Honor. They have. We have all the reports indicating. We started last March, and the most recent one was October 6th.
Have you contacted Children's Services with regard to these matters?
Your Honor, Mr. Pascal has been with Children's Services for, and the most recent, Your Honor, was October 6th when they were at the hospital.
Have they opened a case?
Not that we've heard, but
They just closed the case.
They closed the first case, and then, but right, but the new one, they did have a social worker and the doctor. We're going to contact Child Services. Right.
Yes, and they did.
Medical professionals. So there might be a new one starting up in that aspect. But,
all right, because at this point, as far as I'm concerned, this is just a custody dispute. So this is just a pre-trial today, Well, it appears to me that all of these same allegations are being made during this Children's Services action 11 months ago, and the court granted legal custody to the mother and gave your client a standard order of parenting time. Also, the guardian ad litem at the time recommended legal custody to the mother.
There was no guardian ad litem on that case.
Helen Wallace was the guardian ad litem in the case. Okay. And there was a case plan that was reviewed January of this year. And so I'm happy to set your motion for a trial. But
my concern
under the circumstances, there's nothing I'm going to be able to do for you on an interim basis.
Because all I have here is I do have all the reports that I have here were after that time, and there's been.
All right. Well, I would make a report to Children's Services if I were you. That's what they're for. Okay. Especially because they've already been involved with this family as late as January of this year, and so if they believe that there are issues, then I'm sure they will take some kind of action with regard to that. But this is not something that we're going to be able to deal with on a regular basis. Okay? You've also filed a motion to show cause. So the other issue is that on that motion, the mother is entitled to appointment of counsel if she so desires. At this point, she may not be here because she may not have been served. So that's another reason why we're not going to do anything today. The certified mail failed. Regular mail service did not go out until the 10th of this month. So that was 14 days ago. I'm not going to guarantee that that's going to be enough time for the regular mail service to come back as undeliverable. That's going to be that's something of an issue given the fact that she's not here today. All right? Okay. But I'll go ahead and give you a trial date. You have your calendar?
I do. Let's write it down. Have it on these in the car. I'll just write it down.
We can't have anything about any of those injuries.
Well, we can't, I mean, right now, he won't take any facts. He doesn't want to take any information.
I wish life was that easy for me where I could just say, well, you know what, forget about it. I'm not showing up, and it'd be that easy for me. But tables are turned. Or one of my kids lose their lives or something, we'll see what happens.
All right. Ms. Pascal, is there some reason why in December of last year, 10 months ago, you didn't ask for custody of these children?
I did. I've been asking for custody for...
Well, apparently you were in agreement that custody should be granted to the mother.
No, I wasn't in agreement with that.
The court is, the magistrate is wrong.
Which order is
She
that?
indicates that, that you agreed to legal custody to the mother.
Nope, I got a court order right here that's contrary to that. That said that I was trying to argue against the custody and no one's opinions would be heard at that time. Let's see here.
I'm going to read to you from the order, Mr. Pascal. The legal father testified he's in agreement with protective supervision. He currently has a protection order against the mother. The parties were also able to negotiate a parenting time schedule.
Oh, that was...
So the court granted custody to the mother.
Custody was already with the mother. That was after fire.
Yeah.
Right, and that was when the mother was on the charge with 2 counts.
Okay, well I'm just wondering why at that time you didn't...
At that time I was trying to get custody. At that time I had just been granted visitation after 11 months. Where I tried to, I was in your court before I hired Mr. McLean to come in and represent me. I was in court and you said, there's no way I'm going to find her in contempt for not letting you see these kids because you have a TPO against the mother. And I said the TPO says that doesn't interfere with standard order parenting time. So that's when I went and hired Mr. McLean, and then he came back months later, and then that's when I was granted visitation, and that's when I started seeing the scars and marks on my children.
Okay.
And so, you know, I wasn't even notified by Children's Services that the fire had occurred. I had to hear about that from street sources and the news eventually after we downloaded the video.
Okay.
I was at odds about the decision to grant custody back to the mother
So
in
you
the first
contacted
place.
Children's Services and told them about these scars and marks, correct?
Yes, sir, and the social workers down at Children's Medical did as well.
Okay, so you've done all those things, and there have been no open case, no police investigation, no medical health professionals been able to
The
tell
social
you
worker,
that those are a result of any kind of abuse or anything.
the social worker,
correct?
Vicky Carter, refused to send us any type of a report about where the injuries came from.
All right, well, I guarantee you that if they thought that they were the result of abuse, that some investigation would have been initiated.
I do have a document. The report, the most recent report indicates the medical. I can show it to you. It's a medical opinion that the patient has been the victim of child abuse, and CSB was contacted by social work. But Mr. Pascal returned the kids to their mother as per the directive of the police officers. But like I said, the doctors on 10/6 gave the medical opinion that extensive bruising after being hit repeatedly with a belt constitutes child abuse, and so they were supposed to be calling CSB. And at this point, that's why we found the situation to be so urgent.
Okay, well, let me see what it is that you're looking at.
Yes, sure.
How old is Cherish, Mr. Powell?
6 years old.
This for the record gave me a document that appears to be from Children's Medical Center, Dayton. Okay, well, this is what I read, is that the child was beaten with a belt on her buttocks and perhaps on her upper leg. There's no evidence of any other injury, and it is the opinion, and by the way, it is merely an opinion, not a legal conclusion, that this constitutes child abuse. I think that, frankly, that is open to question. And that's
How
something.
about questioning the mother's state of mind? There is
again,
reports about her parents.
You're asking for an interim order, which means that the court has to find that these children are presently in danger of substantial physical or emotional harm. I can't make a finding based on this report that this constitutes abuse.
Does it constitute domestic violence? There's two differences.
No, not necessarily.
So you've taken all of the facts into consideration. You've taken into consideration the mental state.
All right, if you want to argue with me.
No, I don't. I'm finished.
That would probably be a mistake, okay? I'm happy to give you a trial where we'll discuss and deal with all these issues, and you'll put on your evidence. But I don't think there's enough here to give you an interim order, okay? Again, especially after all of these things were dealt with just 10 months ago. That is not a legal conclusion, Mr. Pascal.
What was dealt with 10 months ago, sir?
The courts have held many times that the parents, a child who is subjected to corporal punishment on the buttocks in that area, that is not per se child abuse. Okay? Simple as that. Your attorney needs to explain these things to you so you understand them, so that you have an understanding of what it is that you're dealing with here when you're in this court. Okay? Just because you believe something doesn't mean it's going to be what the court finds. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You have a calendar?
I'm just write down a court date and I'll have to make it because
Okay.
it's not in the car.
And I would also point out that this is what Children's Services and the police and agencies like that are for. And if they've made a determination that there's been no child abuse at this point, then I certainly don't have the capacity to make that decision based on the limited time and evidence that we have available to us today. Okay? And I don't intend to do that. All right. About December the 9th at 1:30.
I don't see a problem with that. 12/9
Mm-hmm.
at 1:30 p.m. County.
I'll just set it for half a day.
Okay.
So the court isn't concerned with her breaking the court order.
Well, I'm concerned what he wants to do is make sure that she's here and she legally has the opportunity to have counsel.
Now, is your client interested in hiring a guardian ad litem?
Do you want a GAO on this case?
It's going to cost $750.
Oh.
It's not gonna be a lot of money.
No, I don't want no guardian ad litem.
Okay. All right. then I will leave you to decide how it is you want to proceed with this. If the regular mail service comes back as undeliverable, I don't anticipate that, and you probably don't either, but then obviously you don't have your serve. I'm just assuming it's going to not come back as undeliverable. And again, I would strongly suggest to you that if you haven't already, you make a report to Children's Services and make a police report with regard to this. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.